We are jumping straight into the tutorial today, and I am starting out with my skin. I'm taking the Maybelline Matte and Poreless foundation, and I'm mixing two of these shades to get my perfect color, and I am just dotting that all over the face and then blending that all out with my Real Techniques damp sponge. And I love the finish of this foundation. I think it's just so beautiful. I think it's more of a satin than it is a true matte, and it just lasts on my skin all day. Since the eyes are pretty heavy, I'm going to go ahead and do that first before we do the rest of the face. I'm just priming my lids with some concealer, and then I'm going to be using all Anastasia shadows today. And the first one is this peach shade, and I'm taking this all over the lid. This is basically just going to set that concealer and make sure that our shadows all blend really seamlessly. The first shade I'm using is Morocco. This is my favorite shade that she's come out with, and I'm using that on just a big fluffy brush, and I'm just taking this in the crease, but I am keeping this a little bit higher. Both of the crease shades I'm taking a little bit higher than normal because I want to have a lot of space for that plum, and I'm just taking a Sigma E25 brush now, and I'm kind of doing a little bit of a bolder crease. I'm using Hot Chocolate from the Self-Made palette, and I'm taking that right into that crease area and keeping it a little bit higher like I said before, and then I'm also dragging that in a little bit further towards the inner corner. And then I'm just, of course, going over those edges one more time with that fluffy brush that we started out with. For the lids, I'm taking the shade Metallic Plum from the Self-Made palette, and I'm just taking a flat shader brush from Morphe and packing that all over the lid. And patting this all over the lid is going to really help us get the most intensity out of the shadow and also help us not get so much fallout. After I had that packed all over the lid, I lost a little bit of the intensity in the crease that I wanted, so I just went back in with a little bit of Hot Chocolate on that same blending brush and went right back into the crease just to give it a little bit more definition. This part, as always, is optional, but I'm going in and doing some wing liner. I just start out by doing like these little dashes all along my lash line so I can make sure that I get as close to the lashes as possible, and then of course just flick it out and do your wing as bold as you like. To make sure that the lash line stays nice and dark, I am tightlining my eyes, and I'm getting better about doing this without my eyes spazzing out. I'm using one from TheBalm, the Mr. Right Now liners. They just stay really great on my waterline, and then I'm using some Benefit Rollerlash to prep for lashes, and I used my favorite ones right now from LillyLashes in the style Monaco. Taking the shade Nude from the Cream Contour Kit, this is in the shade Light, and I am just going to give my face a little bit more structure and warmth. So I'm just taking this under my cheekbones, on the sides of my forehead, and then I'll also do a little bit on the sides of my chin. I'm not doing anything too crazy here, just giving a little bit more structure before we go in with the powder products. And of course, just blending all of that out with the same sponge, and then I'm going to color correct my under eyes with the Becca Under Eye Color Corrector, and this stuff makes such a huge difference. You can see the difference from one eye to the other. It doesn't just help with correcting the under eyes, but it also helps to brighten. It has some really great brightening properties to it. Just makes the eyes look nice and luminous. I'm going to be concealing and highlighting with the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer in the shade Fair Neutral, and I'm taking that under the eyes and then highlighting all the normal places on the face that I usually do. Especially with the smoky look, you want to do this so you have balance in your face. So on the chin, around the sides of my mouth, down the bridge of my nose, and a little bit down the center of my forehead. And then I'm of course just blending all of that out. This sponge, you guys, I have seriously been obsessed with. I feel like it does an even better job than my beauty blender, and I got two of them for like $10. And of course, I'm setting my under eyes and actually the rest of my face with my Laura Mercier translucent setting powder. I just am obsessed with this stuff. I like to dip my sponge in there to set my under eyes, and then I just go around my face with this nice big tulip brush from Sigma and do a very light dusting just to kind of set all of that cream product in place before we go in with any more powders. Once that powder has set for a few minutes, I just dust away the excess, and this helps to keep my concealer locked in place all day long. And then it's time to start contouring. I'm using the shade Fawn from the Anastasia Contour Kit and my Real Techniques contour brush, and I'm just going along where we contoured before, along the cheekbones, and then I also take this up around my temples and on the sides of my chin, and I will show you guys how I do my nose. I will have a full in-depth contour routine coming up really soon for you guys, and I did switch up my brush. I will have this one listed below. This one is from Morphe, and this just helps me get, I think, a cleaner contour. It makes my nose look even thinner. The smaller the brush, I think the better with this. So I am contouring my nose with this brush, and then I go back in and blend it all out. And you can see I am blending upwards. I'm not doing circular motions anymore. I am blending all of that color upwards whenever I blend it out, just to make it look softer and look more natural. Now to finish up the eyes, I am just taking that same black liner and lining my lower waterline. And I took metallic plum that we have all over the lid and this tiny little smudger brush from Morphe. And I am just buffing all of that out and smoking out the lower lash line. Make sure that you do connect that lower lash line with the upper lash line. You don't want to have a disconnect there. You want everything to flow really seamlessly. So just bring that down as far as you're comfortable with. And because I wanted a little bit of warmth on that lower lash line as well, I switched to this pencil brush and picked up a little bit of that hot chocolate shade, and I'm just doing the same thing, just buffing everything out. And then it's time for the fun part, and I took the shade Pink Champagne and I wet my brush, and then I'm just applying this really heavily to that inner corner, and I also drag this down about a third of the way on the lower lash line. This is my favorite color out of the palette, and I think it just looks so stunning on the inner corner. And then of course just load up those lower lashes with some mascara, and it's time to do the cheeks, and I'm using Benefit's Rockateur. This is hands down one of my favorite blushes. I use it all the time and I feel like it just looks stunning with this makeup look. And then my camera of course cut out on me, but I put some high beam on my cheekbones, and then I'm using So Hollywood highlighter from Anastasia, and I'm going right over that. If you layer high beam with your highlighters, you guys, it's on another level. It is so gorgeous. I've been doing it every single time I do my makeup. So I did the highest points of my cheekbones, my chin, Cupid's bow, right above the arch of my eyebrows, and then of course I always highlight my nose. You don't have to do this part, but I like it. I was so tempted to do just a nude lip, and a nude lip would look stunning with this look, but I decided to go for something a little bit more dramatic. So I just lined my lips with one that's just a little bit darker than my natural lip color, and then I am applying Vamp from Anastasia Beverly Hills. I think this look is stunning. Once you get that on, your look is complete. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!